Good news, unemployed Albertans. The Alberta government is hiring. You have until the 15th of January to apply to be the new Executive Director of Gender Equality and Advancement in the new Ministry for the Status of Women created by the NDP earlier this year. Your very important duties will include making sure all the tampons in the province are tax-free and stressing the importance of spelling girl power with several R's. No, I'm making that part up, I hope, but the real responsibilities of this position are equally as silly, like this one: providing strategic leadership and oversight for the training and implementation of the Gender-Based Analysis Plus framework to ensure Alberta programs, services, and policies are aligned with gender equality and intersectionality. And this one: leading the transformation and impacting the culture of policy development and redesign through a gender equality and intersectionality lens across all ministries. All this for a cool $125,000 to $165,000 a year. But this is what Status of Women Minister Shannon Phillips said she would do. She told the Calgary Herald way back in September she was going to build feminism in Alberta. She claimed that Alberta has low levels of workforce participation for women, and she said she'd work to eliminate the gender wage gap. So in a time when 100,000 Albertans are out of work and companies that can are pulling up stakes and leaving the province altogether at a time of record debt, this is the kind of nonsense the government sees fit to spend your hard-earned tax dollars on. I call it nonsense because the statistics just don't support having an entire ministry devoted to perpetual victimhood and special treatment. I went to Stats Canada for confirmation of my suspicions. Just look at this graph. If we care about violent crime, and I do, the emphasis should be on getting the male victimhood numbers lower. Men are more likely than women to be victims of violent crime. And if we care about missing and murdered people, while 1% of all violent crimes are homicides, men are overwhelmingly more likely to be the victims. 75% of all homicide victims are men. So if we're basing the development of programs on actual reality, one might argue for a ministry for the status of men. Not that I would ever argue for the growth of government, because just no. Also, an Alberta government study released in 2014 revealed that Alberta women are the highest paid women in the country. The same study also demonstrated that Alberta has the highest female workforce participation rate across all provinces. I'd say a booming economy is good for women. It's actually good for everyone. Maybe this is where the government should focus its attention. And that whole wage gap myth has been debunked time and time again. Women earn less money because they simply choose to work less than men. It's perfectly okay to choose having babies and raising a family over a career. In fact, having done it myself for many years, I cannot recommend it enough. Just a quick one thing I wanted to make note of too. This champion of all things feminist, Shannon Phillips, has had nothing to say about the mass sexual assaults on New Year's Eve in Germany. If there ever was a real women's issue, this is it. The Status of Women Ministry is about problems we've already solved and the injustice of made-up microaggressions like charging sales tax on tampons. Reality doesn't support the cost of the ministry, nor does it justify giving a $1.6 million budget and 8 staff to a director of gender policing and grievance mongering. My women's issues are public safety, taxes, and provincial credit downgrades. Same as everyone else in the province. For TheRebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid.